Hey, good afternoon. Melissa here, coming in live in the Success for Life and Leadership. And I'm bringing you the Tuesday free trainings that I started earlier this month, and we're wrapping up November to remember. So I hope you'll go back in and catch those replays. This is the last one for this month, and we're going to be talking about money, influence, and courage. You know, we all could use a little influence, we all could use a little courage, and we definitely all could use some money. So today's conversation is really getting in alignment with who you are in this aspect of the habits that you create in your life. There's a light that's got my no, that's the bigger light, isn't it? I don't. It just seems weird where my glasses are hitting that. So yeah. So looking back, in your lifetime when we talk about money. So again, I'm Melissa Kirkpatrick, the business and life coach you've been seeking, that you didn't even know you needed until now, or maybe earlier, or you're starting to align with the fact that these types of trainings and support and motivation from me is giving you a new perspective in life and business. And I would love to help you personally if that's something that you're interested in. We can take that conversation in the DM, or feel free to email me. But again, as we hop on to this conversation today, there's a lot of juicy stuff here. So I don't want to delay any further, and we're going to jump right in. But what you're going to walk away with, two things I always ask my audience to walk away with. I want you to feel better than you did when you started the call or watching the video. And second of all, take something away that makes you feel like you can implement it into your day-to-day life. So money, we're going to talk about how to look at how you think and feel about money. With courage, we're going to talk about, with influence, how to be a good role model. And with courage, we're going to talk about how to show up every day, even when it feels uncomfortable, to be that role model that everyone else wants to see you as. And so that's how you'll attract more clients, more money, and more opportunities. So money's one of those things that you either have enough or you don't have enough. Sometimes there's a feeling of lack. Sometimes there's a feeling of an abundance. And the feast and famine concept came very clear when I got into business for myself, especially with owning and operating the golf courses, because the biggest challenge there was when the weather was bad, there was no golfers. And if that happens on like Father's Day weekend, which happened multiple times, there's no golfers, and you can't make up the day, and you can't make up that revenue. So that feast and famine concept really landed in that business, because it was like, I'm not guaranteed that I will have the revenue that I'm projecting out month to month. And so for us in business and owning and operating or entrepreneurship, wherever you land in that, or even maybe you're running a company for someone else, there are those moments when it feels like there's an abundance, and there's moments when it feels like there's lack. And so I want to help you work through that in the sense of money stories. If you can continually have the habit that you're telling money stories, that's too expensive, that's too much, I would never invest in that, who does she think she is buying that? Or maybe you had stories like I did growing up, money doesn't grow on trees, we don't have enough money for that, credit card debt is bad, why do you think I have an endless supply of money? It was so funny. My sons, when they were younger, and we used the ATM machine a lot back then. One time we were somewhere and he wanted me to buy something, and I'm like, well, I don't have the money on me right now. And he said, well, can't you go get that card and go to that one little building and let that man inside there give you the money? Because I always told him there was a man inside there giving the money. But that was his perception, right? All you had to do was go to the ATM machine to get money, and there was always an abundant supply of money in the bank. So think about those stories that you tell yourself. Even now as an adult, when you make a purchase, when you pay someone or buy something, what do you feel? Are you feeling good about it? Are you feeling buyer's remorse a day or two later, or maybe in 10 minutes later? Do you find that you buy things and you didn't like it and you should return it, but you don't? It just sits in the bag, and there sits that money. And every time you look at the bag, you feel like, oh, I should have returned that. Or you did buy something and it wasn't what you wanted. Or the best is when you buy something like a phone and the next version comes out just a few months later. And had you known, which we sort of know when they come out, but it's all about that. How are you feeling in those investments? We don't think twice about investing in a cell phone because we all use them now. I mean, are home phones even a thing now? So money is attraction. It's an energy force, just like everything else. It's just that we've learned to have conversation around it that's not always healthy or not always benefiting us. So the best way to start creating better habits around money is to think about what you're saying about it. Okay, let me jump into my notes here. Yeah. So instead of going from the next paycheck to the next paycheck, planning and budgeting and projecting, like all of that's important for your business, but don't let it be something that feels heavy and something you don't want to do. Hire the accountant if you don't want to deal with that kind of stuff, but stay connected to your money, because the worst thing you can do is not know. I don't like to do a budget. I don't like to watch my bank account go up and down, but when I finally did commit to the fact that I need to know where my money's coming and I need to know where it's going, it made it much easier for me to align more energetically by bringing in more money. So the reflection of that really was in service, something I resisted, looking at the numbers, looking at the bottom line, looking at the profit and loss statement. Like, I learned that now that's important for my business, especially the business I'm in now. Well, all businesses is important, but I just, I really need to know those numbers, those averages and things. And so I'm willing to do that. But I also have an accountant that takes care of all the year-end stuff for me. So I don't have to stay stuck in all that day to day because they take care of that for me. But I do know what money's coming in and what money's going out. And I really get excited when I know that my money is being used in a manner that brings me joy. I still make bad purchases. I still overspend. But for the most part, I've become someone who has a good relationship with money. So when you think about money, owning and operating businesses and things like that, we talk about borrowing money or going into debt, and heaven forbid somebody file bankruptcy or get robbed. Like, again, those are those money stories that we want to just be sure that we don't bring them into our reality. We don't have to let that be a part of our story. When I read the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and I've referred to that multiple times, one of the things in there, he had this mantra, and it was about every day I expand in abundance, success, and money as I inspire those to do the same. And that's my go-to mantra. Anytime I feel myself stuck and stalled around money stories, or there's not enough, or whatever that might look like, sometimes I'll worry about my other, my sons and their money stories. But I just remember, as long as I'm staying in that feeling of gratitude, that I will expand in abundance, success, and love. That was what it was. Abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. Oftentimes it'll put me back into a good frame of mind so that I can call in what it is that I need next, or it doesn't feel as heavy. All right, so that's what I want to talk about money. So the limiting beliefs that we put on ourselves, the stories that we're telling, just pay attention. See what you're saying about it. You might be surprised that you're actually making money go out quicker than it's coming in because you live in this fear mindset about money. You're afraid that something's going to happen. The car's going to break down. The insurance is going to go up. The electric's going up. An unexpected bill. Like, you're already projecting something that hasn't happened. And our mind is so good about creating stories that don't even exist 99% of the time. So that's what I encourage you. Create good money habits. And we'll have more about this as I go through the training. But working with me one-on-one, we can really dive deep. I've got great resources, and I have other coaches in my corner that can support us as well. So if that's something you struggle with, having too much, not enough, not knowing what to do with it, let me know. I would love to support you there as well. Now let's talk about being an influence or influencer. So when I talk about this, what do you think of first? Like, who's an influencer that maybe you watch? I think of the Kardashians and I think of Oprah. Like, those are two, families is one and Oprah's the other that is a big influencer. I mean, you hear the name and you immediately have story around it, or you immediately know, like the product lines that the Kardashians all have developed, or Oprah with Super Soul Sunday, and now she's Weight Watchers. Like, there's this influencer that you know and follow, probably multiple ones, and that's really who we are in our own businesses and our life. We can be an influencer, and the way that we do that is how we show up for other people, what we're putting out there. So to be an influencer of your own business, it's getting people to believe in you. They've got to believe in you first in order to buy from you. They have to understand who you are and that your value is there. And how do we do that? Well, the best way to do that is just be a good role model. Put out there what you would expect in return. Show them what you're doing to be successful, or to create more clients or get more money, whatever that is for your business. You're just being a good role model, and people will be magnetized to that effort. And when you're giving out value, like I'm doing here in these free videos, I'm showing up every Tuesday at 11:15 to offer this. We're going to do it again in December. I've already got the post made and the topics that we're going to cover, because This isn't only for you, friends, it's for me as well, but it's also for someone that's not met me yet. This is going into the archives. This is building that traction, that influence, showing people this is what I do to be successful in my business. Are there days I don't want to do it? Absolutely. There's mornings I don't want to get up at 7:30 or be on a call at 7:30 to do accountability, but I know when I'm serving others, I'm being served. And it's the same thing with money and influencing and then having the courage. So if you're giving out value and you're showing up and offering that support, that's the influencer in you. That's who you are. And then when you go to meetings, networking meetings, or you show up on Zoom calls and people are like, I know you, Melissa, I know this orange wall, I know you well. Or last night I went to a chamber meeting and I knew people, they knew me, they approached me first. That's always a good feeling. So when you notice those little things, keep doing that. Sometimes you don't notice them right away, but other times they will show up quicker. So that's when you start becoming an influencer, you start getting paid, you start supporting, others and helping them. You're a step or two above them maybe, and you're just able to give that strong support. I've been giving content away probably for the past couple of years, and it has served me. And that's the thing that what happens with that, again, with the orange wall and different things, is you become top of mind. And that's what you want. So when you're in a networking meeting or a business meeting or someone says, man, I really wish I could play the game of golf as a woman. I wish someone could teach me. And then someone would be like, oh, that Melissa, she used to do that at the golf course, right? I became top of mind for that. Well, interesting enough, at a meeting the other day, someone had mentioned, oh, we're a group of golfers and we get together once a month and we do this, that, and the other. And I said, you ever look for a motivational speaker? Because I would love to help you with that. And they're like, yeah, who do you know? And I told them my story. They didn't know I owned and operated a golf course, and let alone teach women how to play the game of golf. And I have my ebook. It's the 5 Steps to Your Own Drive. So those are the connections that you make, so they become top of mind. She'll remember that, and she'll be able to share it with her group. So just be sure that you're just showing up, shining your light bright, building your lighthouse in the bedrock, as I talk about. Develop that framework and just be consistent. Keep knowing that you are influencing others. You are making an impact. If whether it's one person, 100 people, or 1,000, you want to keep doing what you're doing, because that's where all of your legacy, all of what you're doing right now is being created in this moment. So years to come, it can continue to be seen, grow, and blossom. And that's what we all want. And if you level up, you level up too. I do it every decade. So be the influencer that you know. Also think about the golden rule. That was my one rule in the classroom when I was a high school IT teacher. It was do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that to me made so much sense, because if someone's struggling coding their program and you know how to do it, wouldn't you love to just help them so that they can get ahead and not sit there and feel like they're failing? And if someone is having a bad day, isn't it nice when you can give them a compliment and just give them a pat on the shoulder and say, hey, you're going to be okay? And, isn't it nice when someone gives you a compliment? Like, it's all about exchanging what you desire in your life. Sometimes it starts with you, though. Sometimes you have to be the one to start that. Again, this is all about, I know this person because they've made an impact on me. They have influenced my life, and it has changed for the better. So think about that the next time you're in conversation in a room. Compliment the person, recognize who they are, see where they're at, and just, be that light. Again, it's all about the light. Now, courage. Oh, the courage. Courage is one of those things that, so think about introverts and extroverts. Like, that's a common thing. A lot of people refer, oh, I'm an introvert. Blah, blah, blah. Well, basically I am too, because I go into a room and I scout the room to see where I want to be an extrovert. And a lot of times I'm an introvert for a good while in that room because I'm a wallflower and I'm watching and listening. Now I'm getting better at it over time, because the more meetings that I attend and the same people are within that organization or group, I tend to, go right to them as well. But that also can have an effect on you as far as, the courage to start new conversations or introduce yourself to someone that you don't know. Courage is not only just being present and in the moment and engaging with other people, but it's courage to take those risks. It's courage to find a new way to do things. It's courage to reach out and hire that coach or get the support. right? There's courage inside of us. Every time I say the word courage, I think of the cowardly lion on The Wizard of Oz and how he was not courageous and how he feared everything. And I think sometimes we get in that frame of mind and that mindset, and it really doesn't serve us. It defeats us more times than it should. And that's where you're able to say, you know what, I'm going to show up as my authentic self. And if people don't like me, that's okay. And if people love me, that's even better. But authenticity came about years ago, and it's still used, but not as much. But who is the authentic Melissa that shows up? And it's not that I come in authentic saying, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about me. It's like, can I really tell my story? Can I really tell my truth? Can I say it in a way that I want it to serve you and not be showing off or making you feel bad? There's the saying we used to talk about, they one-upped me. You come in and you're like, man, I had a really bad headache. It was so bad. I think it was because I was around all those people smoking at the party or something like that. Oh, you think that's bad? Well, let me one up you on that. They don't say one up you, but you think that's bad. Well, my headache was a migraine headache and I was in bed for 3 days. Like, instead of just saying, authentically, like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that about you. Headaches are really tough, and I've experienced them myself at the migraine level. Like, there's ways to have conversation. And even though I'm using the word courage, it's also conversational. The courage shows up in the words that you use and the mannerisms and what you speak to others. So are you living your truth? And are you taking those risks? And are you putting yourself out there? That's where I find a lot of my business clients are not doing those things. They're wanting to figure out, well, what's the system that's going to help me move forward faster? Well, there's a system, but it's within you. It's not necessarily the system that someone told you to use. I just talked to someone earlier today, and that's what we talked about. Just because someone says do it this way, and it was talking about doing block scheduling, just because it works for them doesn't mean it has to work for you. You've got to know what you want first. I know what I want, and I know what I don't want. We love to talk about what we don't want. So being able to get still and quiet and maybe supported, you're able to say, well, here's what it looks like. This is what I want my day to look like. Then I can find the tool or the instrument to start using to make sure I'm held accountable in order to do that. So that's a little bit more off topic of being encouraged, taking the risk and putting yourself out there. But I wanted to share that because it's kind of the same thing, taking the risk of not knowing how to do something, but figuring it out. Being able to ask others, but not feeling like you have to do what they say that they did. The courage is being able to know what you want and what you desire. The other thing is when we talk about putting ourselves out there and taking risk, one of the things that shuts individuals down quicker is imposter syndrome. I hear this all the time. But who do I think I am? I get it, because who did I think I was to buy and own golf courses? I did not even play the game of golf. My family did, but I didn't. So who was I to think that? And I got that a lot when people first started coming in and wanted to know who's the new owner, and they would point to me. Now my husband and my family owned it too, but I was kind of the main person, right? And they would be like, oh, a woman-owned golf course? So there was this imposter syndrome that happened. But then also what I did in exchange for that is I began putting people on pedestals. I began to say, well, who am I? And these other golf courses have it figured out. And these other managers and GMs and stuff, they've got it all figured out. So then I was like feeling less than and not having the courage to say, how do I deactivate that emotion, that trigger of putting them on pedestals, to where my coach came in and said, Melissa, that pedestal is really a mirror. It's a mirror to say that is you. You don't have to stay here. You can be there. And how do I get from here to there is I visualize. Speaking of visualization, December the 9th, I am doing the vision board workshop, brand new. It'll be from 12 to noon. You got to register for that on Eventbrite. That's my little commercial. But we're learning to visualize in a way that feels like that's me. That's who I want to be. That's where I want to get. And all the reasons and emotions I want to get there. And that's how we fast track things. That's how we can really start speaking our truth, getting in alignment, knowing what we want, going after it with as much determination as possible. And we no longer have to put people on pedestals. We can look at them. I could be an Oprah. I could be a Kardashian. We all have the opportunity to do those things. It's just who's willing to keep showing up, who's willing to keep failing time and time again to get there. Sometimes there's lucky breaks. Sometimes it's a lot of hard work and determination, but it's who you are willing to show up as and take the steps necessary in order for you to do that. We all come into this world the same. We all are born naked and afraid and we figure it out, and we have people instrumental in our lives who are helping us figure things out, sometimes not in our favor, sometimes in our highest and best good. But be sure to remember that opportunities are infinite. There are infinite possibilities. You just have to talk to that cosmic kitchen and let it know what it is you truly want to create or desire. And if you don't know, that's okay too, because it'll drop in opportunities that you didn't even expect. I got asked yesterday to speak with a group on Thursday because their speaker's not able to speak now, and I was top of mind. So yes, and my calendar happened to be open. What's the odds of that, right? The universe is conspiring on my behalf. It has my back. I just have to trust it. I just have to show up, take inspired action, and know and believe that everything is working out to my highest and best good. Out of any situation, good will come. And you've heard me say that numerous times. So what we can do now is just start creating from a place of understanding. The money, the influence, and the courage is just one section of what I've given you over the month of November. If you go back and see what those habits are that we've talked about, and I don't have them in front of me to rattle them off, but I know that there's value in all of these. And when you collectively bring them together, this is where you start really leveling up, amping up not only your business, your income, your relationships, your health, your wellness. All of it goes together, because how you do one thing is how you do all things. Let's see, what else did I want to say about that? So we want to continue to strive to do better. Don't be afraid. Know that fear is false evidence appearing real. And as much as you want to create those 99 scenarios, stories, and situations that says you can't or you'll fail, just come over here to the one belief that you know, you have this desire to create the business and life that you love unapologetically. And you're willing to go through the ups and the downs and the stumbling blocks and the setbacks and take the inspired action, get held accountable for what it is that you don't know that you're going to do, be held accountable, get the support to get the answers of what you don't know. Because this is what makes a highly effective business person, individual in life. And I know that. And I learned this from the top experts, those that have been in it for a long period of time. This is where you really get to claim and declare what it is that you want. And having this support is where you can get that. We fuel you with the motivation. We fuel you with the drive. We let you know that life is a journey. We're all on it together, but you're a player in my game and I'm a player in your game. And we get to decide. We are not defeated until we're no longer here. But every morning you get up, you're still here. And it's time to celebrate that. And it's time to stop wasting time and get really forward, get forward thinking, get the clarity, seek that vision that you have for yourself, and call in the ease and flow, because it definitely can be ease and flow if you set those daily attentions, get the accountability, take those inspired action steps. And I would love to help you with that if you want to message me. So next Tuesday, December, where are we at on time? Oh, I'm making really good time. So yeah, if you have questions about this, comment below, send me a private message. If anything's been sparked, let's have that conversation. Another added caveat, in addition to the vision board class being offered next Thursday from 12 to 1, and you do need to sign up for that with Eventbrite. There's links here. I also want to give you the update on the television spot that's going to happen tomorrow. It airs on local channel 12. I think it's at 9:15 and 12:04. Or 9:04 and 12:15. But Amy on the Go is doing a segment offering me the opportunity to get my message out there and my branding with Melissa Kirkpatrick, business coach. So you might see that on the airways. So we're super excited to have that. But as we wrap up the month of November, remember the things that we talked about. Go back, view the videos. They're still there. Invite other people to this group and let them have the opportunity to experience this training as well. Because if we never work together, I'm just grateful that you've shown up and you've taken the opportunity to view this. And I hope, like like I said, it motivates you and you walk away with at least one or maybe two things that you can incorporate in your own life. And you'll be able to say down the road, wow, I'm so grateful that I showed up for that and heard what Melissa said, because it has been a game changer. And I'm always willing to have the off camera conversations as well, because sometimes there's just that little piece that you don't see in your way, and I can help you identify that. So December next week, we're going to talk about things. The first week on December the 7th at 11:15, how to prepare your life, how to prepare yourself, how, how to prepare your mind for success. That's going to be the first one as we kick off. But December is about 'tis the season to plan. We're going to take the next 4 weeks in December and really get you motivated, driven, visualize, and ready to go. And in January, I will come back with another workshop that is going to be called Elevate You, so that we can take you to the next level after we do all this groundwork. And all of this is free. All you've got to do is show up. So that's the plans for December. Let's see, what else do I need to say? I'm just really feeling inspired to break down the ways that you can make 2022 your best year ever. During the pandemic, I offered free workshops there as well. You can find those. I'm not sure where you can find those. I don't know if they're still up or not, but different things, morning routines, vision boards, turning a new leaf, progress with a purpose. All of that was in service because I wanted to give back, because so many of us were struggling, and I'm continuing to identify that. So if you have a group, organization, or your business, if you're looking to motivate your staff members and something like that, reach out, because I would love to offer an opportunity to speak. Some of these are very, easy to navigate through technology now, but whatever I can do to be in service, I'm being very courageous and saying, I'm here to support you. I want to help you. This is my livelihood. This is my business. And I just want to inspire everybody else to do the same. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you again for showing up here. It has been a pleasure to once again offer you this training, and I will look forward to seeing you next week on Tuesday as well as on Thursday. And I will drop the link below for that upcoming vision board workshop. So get registered. And even if you can't show up live, you'll actually get an email with the replay and the other bonuses that I am offering during that time as well. So have an amazing day. That's all for now. I will see you soon. Bye.